city of Greensboro continues to grow. Each year, the city invests significantly in new construction projects and repair or replacement of aging infrastructure. Greensboro Under Construction will focus on projects that are underway across the city and in your neighborhood.
We are on UNCG's campus at the corner of Josephine Boyd and Walker Avenue, and this is a sidewalk project that was slated to be done in a couple years, but more recently there have been quite a few accidents here with students and pedestrians, neighborhood individuals, and so we moved this project up. It is a federally funded project with NCDOT participating. And what we have is an 8-foot sidewalk that is running the length of the UNCG campus, and then adding 5-foot sidewalk to the opposite side. All of the signals and pedestrian crosses will be upgraded. There will be 2 crossings, one at the light for Josephine Boyd and Walker Avenue, and then one north of that, which will also have a pedestrian refuge island in the middle to allow pedestrian crossings to have a little space in case there's cars coming and it's a little wider than what they can make across. We did have to install a retaining wall on this project, and we also did narrow the lanes on Josephine Boyd. We are now down to 2 lanes south of Walker Avenue so that we could get in the 8-foot sidewalk. So the curb line did change slightly, and the lanes did become a little less wide than they were previously, but that's all to create a better and wider walking area for the students. By extending the curb line out into the existing roadway a little bit, that allowed us to save these trees that you can see are old and big and beautiful, and we tried to minimize disruption to trees in the area. So by moving the curb line, we were able to still fit in the 8-foot sidewalk and save the trees.
Industrial development is taking place in the Reedy Fork area, and currently water and sewer are being installed to support this future development.
We are on the northeast side of Greensboro on Summit Avenue at Chickasaw Drive. This is the Reedy Fork Water and Sewer Project. We are extending water and sewer up to this area for some industrial development that's going to be going on in the Reedy Fork area here. So we're extending a water line and also putting in sewer to serve those sites. This is about a $5 million project, and the timeline for this is approximately 200 days. They've gotten started, and they hope to have the water line in by the end of the year to serve the site, and then the remainder of the work will be done as we get pipe and supplies in. We've actually had this project designed for several years. It has been development driven, and we were just waiting for a site to be developed, and we found out earlier this year that there were interested developers, and so that has started. And so we're now extending. This is purely just development driven extensions at this point. So to serve the sites and be able to provide the services for additional industries in the Greensboro area. J.R. Lynch is doing this project, and we've just started, so we're just getting into things, but the first portion of the water line should be done by the end of the year. So one of the challenges we're currently facing in the construction industry as a whole is material supplies. I know that people have probably seen that in their local Home Depot, prices going up, and just availability of wood materials and different materials for building. However, we're also experiencing that in the heavy civil construction industry as well. Many people have probably seen that Ballinger Road Bridge project We closed the bridge. We were getting ready to start the project, but unfortunately, because of supply issues, they have not been able to start that project. And for instance, the water line is a critical path for that project. And so nothing else can really take place until that is done. And we started the project, and then shortly thereafter was contacted by the contractor to let us know that they weren't going to have any material for the water line available until November. And so, you know, they're keeping an eye on that, but those are the kinds of things that we're experiencing. We've got Reedy Fork water line and sewer line, and they're hopefully getting that water line materials shortly. But when the contractor inquired about fittings, which is hydrants, sleeves, it's heavy ductile iron material, they were given a 20 to 24 week delivery schedule. So we are seeing a large impact to the construction industry as a whole.
The Summit Avenue Streetscape project provides enhancements along Summit Avenue from Brenner Place to Sullivan Street and along Yanceyville Street from Summit Avenue to East Lindsay Street.
This is the Summit Avenue Streetscape project, and we are on Yanceyville Street because the project does provide new sidewalk along Yanceyville here down to Lindsay Street. And this project is mainly focused on Summit Avenue. It is inclusive of water, sewer, storm, and the streetscape itself. So right now what we're working on is the water and sewer and the storm projects. That all has to be done prior to the actual roadway work, which will be new sidewalks. We're going to have medians in the islands just to make it a more aesthetically pleasing entrance into the city. This is a 500-day contract, so our expected completion date is November of 2022. There have been a lot of impacts to this area recently, as many know, with the Monroe Avenue project for the Downtown Greenway Phase 2. This should be kind of finishing up the work in this area.
Construction of new city sidewalks is an ongoing project to improve pedestrian safety and enhance new alternative modes of transportation. Here's a quick look at current and upcoming project locations to be aware of. The Davies Streetscape project will consist of sidewalks, curb and gutter reconstruction, tree wells, and other landscaping. This will provide enhancements in the central core of downtown to improve the overall pedestrian experience.
You may have noticed Davies Street is closed from Washington to Market Street, and this is for the installation of water lines and storm sewer for the Davies Streetscape project that will be following this. So this work was separated from the contract so that we could get in here and do it in a shorter amount of time, close the road, and hopefully get out relatively quickly. This contract is 120 days. We have about a 90-day closure time frame, and being able to close the road and install, because most of the water and storm is either in the sidewalk or in the roadway. This is just a little over $1 million, and this is to upgrade the system to account for the streetscape that will be following, as well as the parking deck and the Westin Hotel that is across the street from where I'm standing. So they started this about a month ago. We are encountering quite a few problems just being in the downtown area. We have contaminated soils that we are having to remediate as we install this storm sewer, and we also have a lot of utilities that we're trying to avoid. There's significant utilities in the downtown area, duct banks and things that we're having to work around. So construction is slow, but we are making progress, and we hope to be completed with the contract either by the end of the year or early in January.
These are just a selection of the many projects taking place across our growing city. Look for the next Greensboro Under Construction to bring updates on current projects and new construction as Greensboro moves forward.